Good morning and welcome to Namaste today, an optimistic way to begin your day. I'm your heart-filled host and the Sensei to Serious Joy, Christopher Witecki. This audio blogcast is for Tuesday, May 9th, 2017. Welcome back, my friend and earthly neighbor. Namaste. Well, if things are feeling off, really strange and sort of shifty, then everything is going according to the planet's plan. In today's Zodiac weather, I'll talk about how we're on the dawn of some major change. And later in your tea time, we are 24 hours away from a full moon, and I'm calling this full moon razor sharp. But first, let's take a look at today's moods and your Zodiac weather. This Zodiac weather is for Tuesday, May 9th, 2017. And my global prediction for planet Gaia is sunny and manifesting today. The sun moves to step 19 and directly trines Pluto, and the moon is climbing to full status in Scorpio. Let's take a look at the planets. Step 19 rules the day today. Step 19 of the I Manifest Consciousness. This is a Grand Master degree of Taurus. Anyone born at Step 19 Taurus is a Grand Master Manifester. What this means is today we're going to be manifesting. That is holding space for the future to come. And I know in my weekly show I talked about this being one of the greatest weeks we've had in 2017. I want to stress that that technically begins after this upcoming full moon. So part of what you're manifesting and holding space for is this positive future. And today what we are doing is putting our first foot down or laying the foundations of this new life. Now the sun today actually trines Pluto retrograde directly at step 19. So this means this is a very powerful turn of events or a turn of our story. One story is dying, one story is being born, and you may feel that shifty energy today. It may even come up as a little anxiety. And also, the moon is in Scorpio, which is the sign Pluto actually rules, and so we are emotionally, literally going through this separation of old and new and feeling it step by step through the day. So today may feel a little icky as you find yourself having to draw emotional lines between the past and the future you're holding space for. And as you are processing emotionally, your mind may be a little frantic as well. Mercury is conjuncting Uranus at step 25 today, and it will continue to be married to Uranus for the next couple of days. This means the universe is asking you to think higher. Today at step 25, thinking higher means in your soul or spirit's best interest. In simple terms, all you need to do with a step 25 is to be mindful of your feelings. It appears that our emotions will be the ones guiding the day, so you really want to nurture yourself, but also realize that your emotions are here to show you what goes in the new pile and what goes in the old pile. Adding even more step 0 creepiness to the day, the North Node in Virgo is at step 0 and 00 minutes, okay? That's a 000. This is the last moment before the North Node moves into Leo tomorrow. And so today may feel like the actual death energy or the actual completion of the old life. And the full moon tomorrow will likely be, let's say, your celebration or graduation. So today is a day where you are emotionally processing and ending some old reality, some old life. And this was likely the life you were born to, the karma you were born to, the energy that we've been facing all year long. You're finally cutting the cords in the next 24 hours from the old and new. Everything until now has been kind of inside of us, but now with this particular 24-hour period, you're going to find you are making cuts with things outside of us as well. And although we are all manifesting something new in our life, we're also birthing a new character and a new vision of ourselves. That's what we've worked on so hard this spring with new vision in Aquarius, finding our spiritual path in Pisces, ending the old character in Aries. And today Venus is at the Grand Master step of step 6 in the sign of Aries, which means that we are planting the preliminary seeds now of this final new character. So whatever you are doing to change your outer life, you are likely birthing a new inner life, and this is the character in the story you were born to live. Speaking of that story, Saturn is retrograde at step 26 Sagittarius, and it is trining into Uranus and Mercury. And Saturn and Uranus will sync up later this week, which means that life will speed up and you will be on to the next chapter of the story you were born to live. From last October until about now, you've basically been getting reacquainted with the karma, reacquainted with the story. Past life situations have been opening up. But now, after this little speed bump spiritually, you're going to be on to chapter 2 of that story, which is what the character does next after the introduction. Maybe call it Act 2 if you want to be dramatic about it. Now, there is a chance of some anxiety today that I want to just put out there. Mars is at step 12 Gemini, so Mars in Gemini is creating very frantic energy. And on top of that, we have Mercury conjuncting Uranus, which makes things a little edgy, and of course the Moon in Scorpio, which makes us feel vulnerable. What this adds up to is your mind will be hyperactive today, but try to be mindful of your own feelings. Try to be mindful of keeping a peaceful mind. If you need to, put your mind on some sort of task, some sort of simple task, if you will, because really with step 19, the point is to hold space for the new and let the old go. There's really nothing contemplative to come up with today. There's no fascinating breakthrough. You should be clear on what you're manifesting in front of you, and you should be even more clear on what needs to be behind you. That really is the spiritual work. And all of this, in my opinion, is all kind of prep work for a razor-sharp full moon we have tomorrow. So that brings us to our tea time topic, friends. Go steep yourself some tea, and let's have our daily tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is razor sharp full moon. We have a full moon that's going to happen here in the next 24 hours, and today the moon in Scorpio begins to climb to that status. I'm calling this a razor sharp full moon because I believe the emotional changes that happen in the next 36 hours are going to be something that cuts away an old life and leaves room for a new life. Now today, step 19 is ruling the day, which means we have built the foundation of our new reality. This foundation has to do with being karma-free, has to do with being illness-free. We've all been doing a lot of healing, and so what we basically have here is a tremendous, wonderful new block of clay in which we wish to sculpt our life. And from this point forward, starting tomorrow, we begin the sculpting of the new shape that we want to be, or the new shape we want our life to be. So this 24-hour period really is a razor-sharp full moon because it's going to decide what this clay of our new reality actually looks like. And at the same time, we're likely stepping away from an old vision and opening up to a new vision. Now, we probably don't know what the new vision is completely. These details are going to be working themselves out in the next 3 weeks. But we are probably also very clear on what this thing won't look like. And that's a lot of what this razor-sharp full moon is about. Between now and tomorrow, you're going to emotionally probably encounter a lot of issues in your life that allows you to say, once and for all, you are done. You will know you are done because you feel you are done, and the universe wants you to be done. Now, it may not be the particular situation itself, it's actually the way things make you feel that need to change. So this razor-sharp full moon is basically drawing a line in many places in our life, dropping zeros, as we say in Scorpio, and deciding that once and for all, we will no longer feel a certain way and open up to the possibility of feeling a new way. So it's razor sharp. It's the real turning point. And I would predict that many relationships, many situations like job relationships, romantic relationships, if they've been hanging by a thread so far, this full moon will probably go ahead and end that. And I think you'll find that it is a blessing if that's the case, but you have to hold space and see. Sometimes blessings are hard to see when we're going through them. So that said, I want to go through the 12 signs today and walk through each of you what you're going to get very emotional about, where this scene will play out for your emotional hair splitting. And I want to talk about how that emotion is here to actually inspire your heart to sculpt something new, to sculpt something you haven't sculpted before, to create a new version of yourself you've never seen before. And this is all adding up to Mercury conjunct Uranus at step 26, which is going to happen very shortly here, at which point you will be decided and committed to this new direction. So indeed, this is the final hump. I think this is probably the last difficult mile we have to walk this spring. I haven't seen many coming up in the summer. In fact, the only real date in the summer I'm concerned about at this point is the lunar eclipse in August. So it's going to be smooth sailing from here. You just got to process for the next 36 hours. Okay, campers? All right, so that said, let's look through the signs and see what they're dealing with. As always, I'll begin with the Aries, and they're great to begin with because Aries always represent what everyone is going through on a global scale. So Aries are getting very emotional about particular boundaries. It might be a boundary with a person, a job, certain feelings that they've been having or harboring. So Aries will get fed up emotionally with something, and this will actually point them to make changes of what their heart really values. So part of the situation, says the universe, is your heart's been valuing the wrong things, which is why you feel this way. So it's a value change. The Tauruses, who are heavily affected because this full moon and the sun is in their sign, them and Scorpios, Tauruses will get very emotional about relationships. It may be a relationship they're in. It may be that they're not in a relationship. It may be a business relationship, but emotions will come to a head in a relationship. And what this is pushing for is a change of their character and their ego. So it's likely that your ego has insisted on certain things, which is why you find yourself emotionally in this situation with relationships. The Geminis are going to get very emotional about daily life and health. They might get emotional about their lifestyle, their work style, or even maybe a health issue. But the universe is trying to get you to have greater faith. So this is to shift your faith in life, and it may be because your faith has been in the wrong things that you find yourself in this daily life position. The Cancers are going to get very emotional about what their heart really wants. Their heart might be longing for something. They might be wanting to create. They may feel that they want to, have more babies or have babies. So your emotions will get very wound up around heartfelt issues. But this is having the universe push you to change what your heart invests in the social life and where you belong. So the universe is suggesting that because you have been associating in certain neighborhoods or groups of people or whatnot, this is likely why your heart is upset. The Leos, they're going to get very emotional about their home situation, living situation, or just emotional at large. In fact, Leos will be hit pretty hard by this full moon because this full moon hits them in the 4th house, the house of emotion. But the universe is using this moment to get you to change your heart about where you point your future direction. And what the universe is suggesting is that you feel this way because your heart has been on the wrong direction so far. The Virgos are going to get very emotional around an idea or an attitude. They might get obsessed about something. So they're going to get in one of those Virgo moods when they just can't put it down. But the universe is pushing Virgos to put your heart in a different belief or a different life purpose. So it may be that you have this attitude or have these thoughts or have this communication with someone, because that could be a bad communication that goes wrong too in the full moon. But you have them because you have been believing in the wrong thing or you have been putting your purpose in the wrong direction. The Libras, they're going to get very emotional around values or money. So you may get emotional about not having the money you want, not being respected the way you want to be respected. This may even be respect in relationships that you're getting emotional about, but you're emotional about values. But the universe is pushing Libras to change your boundaries, where you draw your lines, who you let in, who you don't let in. And the universe is suggesting that you feel this way with values, probably because your boundaries were not in the right place. The Scorpios are also very affected by this full moon. It's in their sign after all. They're going to become very emotional with their ego. They might get defensive. They may feel offended by something. Someone may cross a line. In fact, I'll just tell you right now, Scorpio, it's highly likely that a human being would cross a line right now, okay? But the point is for you to get very emotional and feel strong so you make changes in your relationships. The universe is trying to get you to change the type of relationships you're in, also change the relationship you have to yourself, and the universe is suggesting that it's due to your approach on relationships that makes you feel this way on the full moon. The Sagittariuses, they're going to get very emotional about faith. That might be that they don't have faith, that they're feeling like they have zero faith. This is a step 0 full moon after all. Or they may feel this huge abundance of faith suddenly. But the universe is pushing the Sagittariuses to make different choices about your daily life and your health. So it's time to change your life and health. And if you're feeling issues with faith, it's probably because of the health and lifestyle you have chosen so far. The Capricorns are going to get very emotional about social status. So they're going to feel either left out, or they want to be a part of something, or they're going to feel that they're onto a whole new great thing. But whatever your emotions are around your social status or friendships, it's really for you to have a change of heart, literally. So for Capricorns, they have been investing their heart in the wrong things, says the universe, which is why you may feel this way about your social status. The Aquariuses are going to get very emotional around future and career. So they're going to feel like they want a better one. They're going to feel maybe that they're on top of the world with their career. It can go either way. It's a step 0 moon. But the emotions around career are actually pushing Aquariuses to make changes in how they emotionally nurture themselves. And the universe is suggesting, and I know this is very true, by the way, because I have a sun in the 10th house, that your career issues are probably due to the way you nurture or don't nurture yourself. So by nurturing differently, you will manifest the career direction you want. And then finally, the Pisces. Pisces are going to get very passionate about a belief, a theory, an education path, maybe very passionate about a trip that they have coming up. But this passion around theory and philosophy is actually to poke and prod Pisces to have a change of attitude. So the universe is saying it's time to change the way you think. And if you feel bad about your knowledge, if you feel bad about your life purpose, it's probably because of your thinking. A change of thinking will bring you to feeling better about it. So as you can hear, my friend, this is a powerful full moon, a razor-sharp one. But if you get to the bottom and make these emotional cuts that are necessary, Sensei says it does look pretty happy from here. In fact, the North Node moves into Leo tomorrow, so this literally is a bittersweet, razor-sharp full moon, where as soon as you cut off the dead weight, there's going to be a rainbow, and that rainbow is going to last for about 18 months. The universe is going to push towards your heart's truth. So keep it up, soldier. We are almost there. All right, my friends, so grateful to be of soul service, and thank you, by the way, for all of the birthday messages. I'm so grateful. I'm trying to respond to as many as I can, but I am grateful to be of soul service. I'm so grateful that you want to listen to me every day, and I'm grateful to be here for you too. Have a happy 24-hour period, and I'll see you tomorrow when we approach this full moon. Until then, remember I love you, and live, love, be.
Live, love, be.